Whoa, 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 we, you and me and you, it's the Danny Karen Show. Danny Karen here, and you know what's good? I mean, really good. Actually, it's not really good. It's actually a weird idea that I've always heard from my father, and he always told me, don't ride the brake. And he says some guys ride the brake, don't do it. And to this day, I don't know what it means, because sometimes you go downhill and you coast down a hill in your car or van, truck, whatever the case is, and you step on the brake to slow down a little bit, and that would be riding the brake. But what I want to know is that on your daily drive, going to work, driving to the store, wherever you're going, and everything's flat or not that hilly, do people actually ride the brake on flat roads? Like that's a question that's in my mind. Like, do people actually like do it all the time? They're riding the brake. Like I don't get it. Like I don't understand how you could ride the brake on very flat roads, and you're not going down major hills or anything like that. So, let's deal with the term riding the brake, because I think you should ride the brake when you're going down a steep hill, especially in the snow and the ice and the wintertime, stuff like that. That makes sense to me. It should make sense to you. And I feel that, maybe you should ride the brake sometimes going downhill, but I also feel that you shouldn't on flat roads. So to me, it should be don't ride the brake on flat roads and ride the brake going down hills. But that's my advice to you. And I like to welcome somebody that I've known for years that's an excellent musician, that basically he's what most people want to be when they are self-employed. Most people want to be like this guy. He has fun and he earns money at the same time. And a lot of people should look up to this guy, because it's something that more people should do more of. You should be self-employed more. You should be able to stand on your feet more. And you should have fun and earn money at the same time. All these people have so many jobs where they sit at a cubicle and they're depressed and they're sad, and it's mundane day after day. It's the same thing. And having something day after day of the same thing is a pretty good idea sometimes, but a lot of the times it's depressing and it's sad and it's boring. But this guy, my next guest, he's not sad, he's not depressed, and he's not boring. He's pretty fun, actually. I actually admire this guy for all the things that he does. We're going to try to touch upon everything that he does. A man that wears many hats. In fact, he's wearing a hat right now. So, please welcome Dan Acosta.
Dude, you're funny, man.
Oh, it's good having you here.
Up over there.
I saw that.
It's funny, when you mentioned that whole thing about ride the brakes. Someone actually said that to me once, and I did the same thing. I took it literal, and I was like, ride the brakes. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I drive like a maniac.
Yeah.
And then they actually flipped it on me. They told me what ride the brakes, the way they meant it, was as a metaphor, because they were like, you're one of the guys that doesn't ride the brakes. I'm like, what do you mean by that? And they said, because you go out and you do shit and you don't look back. You don't slow down. You just go full force into everything you do. So it's it can go both ways with that. So that's why when you saw it mention that, I was like, oh shit, someone said that to me once. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's kind of weird, Again, with everything that I'm doing, it's that's exactly how I look at it. It's I just go full force into everything, and I'm like, fuck it, sorry, I can't curse. This is going to be a rough one for me, because I have a filthy mouth, and I'm going to try to control myself, so I apologize.
As long as you apologize for every curse word,
No,
it's okay.
I apologize
but don't
because I'm
curse.
like the king of F-bombs and I got to control myself. But again, it's like I go full force into everything, so it's like I try not to ride the brakes. I try to do just the opposite, just step on the gas, move forward, and keep barreling through everything. But yeah, no, I've had all those desk jobs. I've been with a mortgage company as a broker in training. I've been a telemarketer for years. I mean, I've done all that stuff, and I just realized it's not fun. It gets very boring. I hated it. I was hating life, so I wanted to go out and do something fun. So when I started playing in a band, got lucky there, and was like, okay, hey, I can make some money doing this. Then I started doing like photography and video and stuff like that because I couldn't afford to pay someone else to do it.
Right.
Then I got really, really lucky there where everybody liked the work I was doing for myself and then started hiring me. And then wrestling, that was something I always wanted to do. And I got to give a big shout out to Stockade from originally from NYWC. Now he's wrestling everywhere. I mean, this guy's all over the place. But he's been a huge help, especially the past year. He's been helping me get booked all over the place. He's really, stepped up big time, getting me booked. I've gotten paid for wrestling now, which I hate to admit it, but a lot of people don't want to pay. A lot of free wrestlers out there. Stop doing that. See, I censored myself. Stop doing that.
We like that.
Stop doing that. But no, it happens. A lot of guys wrestle for free. I wrestled for free for a very long time. And then, Stockade's been a huge help. So again, I'm able to do the things that I just have fun doing, and I've been able to turn them into some sort of a job. But if you can do that, people, trust me, it doesn't feel like a job. If you can do something that you absolutely love, it's not work. It's fun, and you get paid for it. Bonus. I highly, highly recommend that.
So before we go into your career, careers in your situation. But we're only going to focus on the music today.
Okay.
Well, for this one video. But I would like to say...
This video is brought to you by White Girl Coffee, because everybody should have some. If you're going to have an addiction in life, this is a good one.
It's a good addiction, I would say. But before we start, I would like to say, have you ever seen the cartoon Cat Dog?
Yes.
Did you know that you are basically a nice version of the human interpretation of Riff from the dog gang that bullied Cat Dog around? Like you have the same voice.
I almost don't know how to take that. I mean, it's kind of a compliment, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're not being mean to anyone. Well, you're not mean to me anyway. But you dress the same.
For the record, when we used to hang out at the wrestling shows and everything, he always beat me up.
This is
Let
true.
that be known. Slap heard round the world.
That's true.
Almost knocked my teeth out.
But yeah, you dress the same, you talk the same. You're just not mean like he is.
Oh no, because I was for a long time. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I constantly got picked on for being the short, fat kid. Everybody always made fun of me, and then I ended up in a reform school.
Wow.
And legit, I became a bully.
Wow.
Because I got so tired of it. I was fighting with everybody all the time. I mean, someone would just look at me the wrong way and I'd throw something at them. I mean, I was out of control. But over the years, I learned you just can't live like that. It's a miserable existence. So thankfully I learned at an early age and kind of sort of grew up a little bit. Still trying.
Wow.
I think it's working.
So what made you want to be a musician? Like what was the thing? What was the song? What was the band?
Well, there's a lot of bands that made me want to do this. One of the first concerts I remember going to way back when, believe it or not, was Bon Jovi at Skid Row. I will not forget because it's like that made me want to be that kind of a rock star, because I saw it was just such a fun show. But honestly, I started playing guitar because I was trying to stay out of trouble.
Really?
Yeah, when I was younger, I went through my bout with some addictions. I smoked a lot of pot, stuff like that. I was getting in trouble. And like I said, I was in reform school at the age of 13. I was in reform school, and by then I was already drinking and smoking and doing everything you're not supposed to do at that age. Mm-hmm. And one of the staff members at the school that I was at came up to me, and she was just like, "Have you ever thought about playing guitar? If I started a guitar class here and got someone to teach you guys how to play guitar, would you be interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? It'd be fun. I always want to be a rock star." So the dorm staff that was working in my dorm at the time, 'cause this was a live-in school, I was only allowed home like one weekend a month, and that's if I behaved myself. So, I'm sure you can figure out I didn't come home very often. Unless I took off and went AWOL, because again, I was just absolute terror back then. But the dorm staff, his name was Craig Corona. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. We reconnected years ago. I owe this dude pretty much everything, because by learning how to play guitar, that just gave me a lifelong passion and career and everything else. So I owe this to him, and the other lady's name was Judy Getz. And the school, it was Lake Grove School. It's been in the news. Place, it burned down a couple times. It was crazy, crazy place. But now it's like developmental housing and stuff like that, or something like that, like a gated community. But long story short, I was watching him play guitar. He was like playing like a lot of old school stuff, like a lot of classic rock and stuff. So I had him teach me Wild World by Cat Stevens, and then Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Taught me some basic chords, and then from there I started writing my own stuff. So I wrote my own song my first song by I think it was 15 years old. And it's been crazy since then, because I never took the music serious, and then graduated high school, came back to public school, graduated high school, and then right out of high school I jumped in a friggin' truck with a Carnival, traveled with a Carnival for a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like 19 years old. I decided to go join a Carnival, so I was moving amusement rides up and down the East Coast. Went to Florida. Was all over the place with those guys. And then I remember my 21st birthday, spent it in Florida. And then I came home. I was like, I think 23 when I started the band. I actually decided to take it serious. So that was 1994.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm an old man. I'm old. I just turned 46 this year. I feel like I'm 110.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought I was old.
No, I'm an old man.
But
I got all that gray hair now. And then none up here. Doesn't come back. So yeah, I started the band in '94, and then I had a really, really good friend. I'm still friends with him to this day. His name's Mike Hayes. He lives down in Florida now, but he helped me start the band. And that was it. It just kind of took off from that point. We decided to make something serious out of it. And I've been so lucky with the music, it's not even funny. Like, I've played with so many people that I grew up listening to and watching on MTV, and just been insanely lucky with that. So, and music forayed me into the wrestling business. And then wrestling got me into acting and everything else, and then the reality TV stuff. And then it's just, like, everything just snowballed, but it all started back with just learning how to play guitar.
Wow.
So
That's
literally,
exciting.
Cliche, music saved my life.
Music did save your life.
Oh, absolutely.
So tell us about your first original song that you actually completed. I know,
yes.
I know, being an artist myself, there's a lot of like ideas that we have, and we start to do it, and then we realize maybe this is not such a good idea, or maybe this is not such a good song, or this is not a good joke, or this is not a good YouTube premise. This show is a good YouTube premise.
This show is a very good YouTube premise.
I'm just saying that, like, we often, like, we start and we stop. And I want to know, like, your first completed, produced song.
Well, the first song I wrote was, it was a little instrumental piece that I had written for my mom. So, my thing is, when I write songs, it has to come from a personal inspiration.
Right.
I don't just write songs for the hell of, just writing something like filler material. Very rare will you ever catch me doing something like that. Everything has to have a story behind it, has to have some sort of personal connection, because my goal is to take my personal experiences and my personal connections and relate them to the people listening, so they can listen to that and be like, wow, I know where he's coming from. So my very first song was just a little instrumental piece I did for my mom called Wild Rose. Her name is Rose. Mm-hmm. And then that's been rewritten through the years, because I realized after I wrote it that I completely just blatantly ripped off Kansas.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dust in the Wind. It was horrible. I tried, and I had no clue, because all of a sudden I'm listening to the song and I'm like, ooh, I'm in trouble. I was like, can't do that one. So then I rewrote that, but then my first full completed song with lyrics and everything else, I wrote for a girlfriend, because everybody knows, chicks love sappy love songs.
They do.
I was trying to score brownie points because I was in trouble. So yeah, I wrote it for a girlfriend I had in reform school, and it was a song called Without Your Love. I mean, as cheesy could be, but I mean, at the time I was like 15 years old, so that's what you do. You're talking 1988, something like that. So, all the big influences were Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, all that stuff. So all the hard rock ballads were all the hair metal ballads.
Right.
But this one, I just learned how to finger pick on the guitar, so it's like real pretty song, But everything in there was just like, love, 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 sappy, 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 love, love, all that stuff. But can't remember the lyrics for the life of me. I know I have them written down somewhere, but that was the first song, and I was about 15. And I remember my friend Craig there, who's teaching me. I remember him, looking over the song too and helping me structure everything, teaching me how to properly write a song. So that guy, like I said, man, I owe everything to him because he taught me how to put the songs together, how to write the hooks, the choruses, all that stuff. And then over the years, I just kept progressing and then getting into heavier music. So I started out listening to all classic rock, writing a lot of love ballads and then hard rock ballads. Like I was destined to become like Hootie and the Blowfish back in the day. And then I met this dude named Mike Seppi through one of the guitar players in my band, guy Dan Berg. And by meeting Mike Seppi, which, I'm sure he'll watch this because I still go down. Garrett and I just went to go see him last summer when we went to Carolina Rebellion for the festival. We stayed at his place. He came in bringing the Metallica and Megadeth influence and Anthrax and old school thrash. So he was like just an insane drummer. And he actually has a Metallica Megadeth tribute band called Metallideath now. They work out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm trying to get them up here in March to play some shows with us. But he really got me into the heavy metal. And then from that point, I went from being Hootie and the Blowfish to like being the next Metallica. And then over the years, I started listening to so many different styles of music. Now it's like Black Label Society, a lot of Ozzy, a lot of Black Sabbath, Tool, Godsmack, like all that stuff. So that's kind of where the influences come from now. So it's like, now my music's like just all over the place. But I still write the sappy love songs though.
That's good.
Because I do a lot of acoustic shows. And I do a lot of charity work. So I still have a solo career without the band. So I do a lot of touring on my own as well.
Wow. Multi-talented right here. So tell us about how did the band Axis Unknown get started?
Met this guy, Mike Hayes, working overnights at Michael's Arts and Crafts in Comac.
Wow.
Like literally, we were building the store because originally it was Lee Ward's Arts and Crafts. It was in Northport. They closed the store. We transferred up to Comac to build a brand new store because Michael's Arts and Crafts had just come to Long Island. And I was working with a friend of his. I remember he rolled up one night, I think, to drop her off a cup of coffee. And she was like, "Oh, hey, this is my friend Mike. You should talk to him. He's a guitar player. I think you guys would have fun jamming together." Done. This band's been around for almost 24 years now. But he was with me in the very beginning. He brought in the bass player and everybody else. We put the whole band together. He's a phenomenal singer and songwriter in his own rights. Had a band called Three Simple Words, really great band. And we kind of just went from there. Like he would sing some songs, I would sing some. We'd back each other up on harmonies, and then we just kind of ran with it.
Awesome. So, what's your favorite Axis Unknown original song?
I got to censor myself. It's got those bad words in it.
Well, is there some? Wait.
No, I'm not.
Is there a song that doesn't have bad words?
Yes, there are songs
in the title.
A lot of songs. Well, no, the song it's not in the title unless you know what the acronym stands for. But the song title is The Ballad of Dilligaff. It's Dilligaf. And I will censor myself, but it's The Ballad of Do I Look Like I Give a... You know what I'm saying? And that song, which I want to do a video for that song really soon. It's all about all those people on Facebook that just run their mouths and they talk all this trash and then they hate on everybody and they're like, "Oh, this guy sucks and this guy this and blah, 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 blah." And then when you see them, they walk up to you and they give you that bro hug and they're like, "Hey, buddy, how are you? How you been?" And it's just like, dude, you just trashed me on Facebook like 3 days ago and told me how bad I suck and you hate my guts and now you're up here hugging me. It's like, stop. You know what I mean? So the catchphrase is Facebook balls. It's about all the haters with the Facebook balls who like to run their mouths.
Oh, man.
And that
There's so many.
Yeah, that's become like my new favorite song to play because it's a throwback to like old school punk. It's like a mix between Motley Crue's Livewire and like Motorhead's Ace of Spades.
Right.
So it's just like a crazy punk too. And we do an acoustic version of it too. So I'll play it in my solo shows also. But that's become my new favorite.
Awesome. Well, we ran out of time. And I would like to thank Dan Acosta for showing up here today. And
Starbucks for keeping me alive in the wait for this interview.
And I'd like to thank Starbucks as well.
Sponsor him, Starbucks. Pay attention.
Please
Sponsor
do.
this man. It's bad enough you don't sponsor me and I spend all my cash there. Sponsor this man.
That's true. Somebody here needs to be sponsored. I don't even care if it's the dog upstairs. It's just got to be done. If you like it, like it. If you want to see more and catch up with me as we explore the world of Long Island and comedy and the stuff that we do, subscribe and be sure to catch us next time. Thank you. And wait.
Shameless plug.
Let's
I'm
do
a
it.
shameless self-promoting media whore. Axis Unknown. Look us up on Google. It's AXIS Unknown. Axis Unknown. Find me, like me, follow me.
Follow him. Follow him. That's right. Axis Unknown. Check it out. Dan Acosta. Check him out. See ya.